Jesus said, "How hard it is for those who have wealth to enter the kingdom of God. Indeed, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God." Those who heard it said, "Then who can be saved?" He replied, "What is impossible for mortals is possible for God." Luke chapter 18, verses 24 through 27. Okay, this is my 2009 Chevy Cobalt. I'm going to be removing the lower control arm, which is this piece here. And the reason for that is because this part of the frame is too close to the lower control arm, and it's making a noise when these two hit each other. And the reason for that is the fact that this bushing that isn't very visible right here, but it has worked its way out of the control arm. The control arm should be up like midway between this piece and this piece. Okay, so first we are going to take off the bolt or the nut right here. So I'm going to put a 15mm wrench here, and this is a 16mm bolt on the other side. Okay, and this bolt is what holds the ball joint here to the steering knuckle. Okay, the next step, I installed this bottle jack to support the steering knuckle here. Let's see if we can get, so you can see where that's positioned. And I'm just going to jack that up, and I may have to pry a little bit on this to get it to come down, but I want this to come out of the steering knuckle. So with that method, you can see that I've got this part of the way out there. You can see that shiny metal there that wasn't there before, but the angle doesn't seem quite right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take or start to loosen up these bolts over here. There's one here, and then there's one on the other side over there, and I'm hoping that when I take those out, it will allow this lower control arm to move a little bit, and thereby get the right angle so that that will slide out of there. Okay, and while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and loosen this bolt. This is the last bolt that secures the lower control arm to the car, besides the other ones I've already shown you. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this one as well to make sure that I don't have any trouble getting that loose. That one is a 21mm nut, or a bolt rather, and so I'm going to take that out. With a breaker bar, I probably need a little bit of leverage to get that off of there. Okay, I've got this breaker bar, and I've got an additional pipe on the outside of it. Alright, so that's loose. Let's see if we can get the other one over here. Okay, since this thing is being stubborn with these bolts in, I'm going to go ahead and take these bolts all the way out. And there are these little brackets that go on top of the bolt there, so set those aside because you'll reuse those. Okay, so now that's loose. I should be able to pry the lower control arm from the steering knuckle now. Just use my little bottle jack to lift that up a little bit. Oh, there we go. The only thing that's holding that in place is that frame pocket. Just pull it right out. So that's the part right there. And if you look right here, you can see how that rubber has started to come out right here. It's almost all the way out. Actually, it's supposed to be flush with this edge right here. So that rubber insert there has just worked its way all the way out, and that's what was allowing that to ride. And this part here also is supposed to be flush with that metal ridge right there. So anyway, so that's what was causing the noise that I was hearing. So here you can see what it should look like. The rubber should be inside of this metal piece here and shouldn't be sticking out like it was. The bottom side there is inside the metal. So this one should not interfere with that pocket in the frame back there. Okay, so we're going to take this and put it into the frame pocket. right there. Now in order to get this to go in there, I had to grab a hold of the tower down here and pull it this way. Okay, and that then allowed that to slip back in there, which then allows me to get it in there the right place. And it's still not quite right because these bolts are not lined up yet. It's not, looks like it is from that angle, but it's not quite setting down on this frame. So I have to make sure that that rear hole is lined up with the bolt back there, and then that should allow these guys to line up. There we go. So now I have can line up the forward bolt, both of them actually. I got the rear bolt kind of partially in there. I'm not able to get through the upper hole yet, so I'm going to put my little bottle jack under here just to hold that bolt in place. Okay, so now I'll line this up here. There we go. Okay, that's in there. Not all the way, but I still got to get that rear bolt lined up. There we go. Okay, that one started now, so. Okay, and last thing is to put the bolt in right here. I already put it in, and tighten that nut. Okay, these two bolts here are 41 foot-pounds. And one on the other side, same. Okay, the one on the steering knuckle it's got 4 stages. 37 foot-pounds, then loosened 3/4 of a turn, then back to 37 foot-pounds, and then additional 30 degrees after that. Okay, and the rear one is 74 foot-pounds, and then an additional 180 degrees, and you're probably going to need an additional cheater bar pipe on your breaker bar to get 180 degrees. And there you can see how the new control arm has quite a bit of space between the frame here and the control arm, so that hopefully will be a lot better ride.